We've been sleeping in the same bed for 15 years. And right now, we're struggling. Most of it's on me. I got a recent diagnosis of sleep apnea, which I need to figure out. And I'm starting to snore. Well, not starting to. I'm snoring more. It's keeping me awake, and it's also keeping you awake.
Yeah, my vision, for us as a couple was always heading to bed together at the same time. And, while Mark might fall asleep, I could read for a little while. I've got Ruby there with me. But honestly, your snoring has kept us both awake, for night after night after night. And it makes it really hard the next morning to kind of hit the day with the vigor that you need.
Yeah, and we can't ignore this much longer because it's starting to lead to poor sleep for both of us, increased stress, and even some resentment on your part and my part, putting our relationship at risk. And we need to figure it out.
So really, this video is as much for you as it is for us. So stay till the end where we'll share what we're doing to solve some of this problem.
Now, well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, let's talk about 5 key concerns that we have on this topic because we've been talking about it for a while. The first one is fear of growing apart as a couple.
Right, because, you figure that time at night sometimes is the only time that, if you've been going different directions all day long, or if you have, friends over or family staying with you, that's probably one of my greatest fears is this growing apart as a couple, because that's time where it's just you and I.
Right. The second thing is there's stigma around the idea of sleeping in separate rooms. It's almost in a way embarrassing for us to tell people that, right?
Exactly. I don't know who we'd have to actually tell, but I guess we'd tell our YouTubers.
We would tell the 50,000 subscribers,
right.
and so they know about our sleeping arrangements. I think it's important for them to know.
Yeah, okay. Well, the third main concern that I have is about our intimacy and our closeness, because that time at night, again, it's the one-on-one time. It's where you can be the most vulnerable, you can get the closest, and that is a concern of mine.
Yep.
I mean, I always fight you when you say, I'm going to go ahead and sleep in the other room. I'm always like,
yeah.
Even though I know it's probably best for us.
Well, oh, really?
Well, probably for our sleep and our health.
That's a big declaration here on YouTube channel. But the other thing is managing our children's and family's perceptions. We're going to bed now, and don't forget, Jody sleeps in that room, and I sleep in another room. It's different. So it's just kind of weird for us to figure out that's going to happen.
It's that overall balancing sleep needs with couple time,
right.
I guess, right?
Well, if you're new here, I'm Mark, and this is my wife, Jody.
And we welcome you to our channel where we focus on lifestyle, health, relationships, and much more.
Please hit the subscribe button so that you get notified when our videos come out. But more importantly, share this video and others with people that you care about so that we can spread the word in the retirement community about all of the work that we're doing to help people have a better retirement.
Absolutely. And this topic of sleeping in separate rooms didn't actually come up from us. Oddly enough, we know several couples who have made this transition, some of them our age, retirement age, and some of them actually, our son Jonathan brought it up because some of them actually younger in their 30s and 40s where they've just decided sleeping in separate rooms was better for their health and better for their relationship.
It's funny because I talked about this stigma. I mean, my parents always slept in the same room until near the end. When my dad was a snorer, I've talked about his alcoholism, so he would go to bed really early, and my mom just couldn't figure it out, so he started sleeping in his own room, and I gave that a label as, I don't even know what the label was, but I couldn't believe as a child of theirs that they would sleep in separate rooms. I'm like, what's wrong with them? I mean, I'm married at 15 years, and now my parents are sleeping in separate rooms. It didn't make sense. And I just had a conversation with my friend Dan down at the river where I watched his son come up. He's just retired. He's 67. He and his wife have slept in separate rooms for 20 years.
Oh, really?
I had no idea.
Wow. And
he said it's fine. It's totally fine. Vacations, they do cruises now. They're back in the same bed. Actually, maybe they get twins. I didn't ask them that.
Huh.
But they're in the same room.
Right. And it works.
It seems to.
Great.
So
if this is of interest to you, check out our relationship toolkit below. It's a free download, and I suggest you actually take a look at it. It could be helpful.
All right, let's talk about the points we want to bring up about sleeping in separate rooms. So the first thing you have to keep in mind, the benefits of better sleep quality. We both have Oura rings,
Yep.
and we both track our sleep. And it can be anywhere from a low of 60 something to 100. The highest I've gotten is 95 out of 100. This morning I happen to have a 93. I slept really well last night. But the benefits of good sleep quality are game changers. If you can reduce your nighttime disturbance from snoring,
And that goes both ways, right? That's you snoring and waking me up, and me giving you a couple of nice shoves.
I always think there's something about to happen when I get one of these.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on? You're snoring. You're snoring. Yeah,
You're snoring.
I got that wrong.
So it wakes both of us up. So, that is a big nighttime disturbance, When you're sleeping alone, though, you reduce that. You have your own control over room temperature, which is
Right.
also something that we struggle with a little bit. I like it a lot cooler than you do, but I sleep really hot.
Yeah, and you can have your own personal bedtime
Right.
routine. I get into bed and I'm out. You get into bed and you read.
I read
so
for
it's
like
kind
an
of funny.
hour.
I get on my right side, my back is to you, and I'm asleep
Right.
in like 3 minutes, and you're reading. So being in separate rooms, it almost doesn't matter.
Right. I
For
get
us.
it. I don't know. I'm
not saying
still
we're gonna do it.
struggling with it, but this overall quality of sleep is really, really important. And the second thing is, there is an impact on our relationship quality. Sleeping separately can positively impact our relationship dynamics. I know if there are nights where Mark slept just, in my mind, terribly, snoring all night, the sleep apnea kicks in. It's a little bit, kind of scary when you don't hear your partner breathing. So I'm awake and I come downstairs and Mark will say, the Oura Ring told me I had a 94% sleep. And I'm looking at mine and I'm like a 62. I resent that because, well, of course I do.
Okay.
Because he slept really well while keeping me awake all night.
I don't remember keeping you awake.
Well, of course, because you were asleep.
But how do I even know I did keep you awake?
Well, because, the constant...
I don't remember that last night.
I guess you don't.
You know what we need to do is video our sleeping.
Oh, gosh.
And then put it on the channel and let people vote and see what they think.
But this overall bucket, I'm not addressing that. This overall bucket of relationship quality, reducing your resentment from sleep disturbances the solution may be sleeping in separate rooms. You may have an opportunity for more intentional intimacy.
Oh.
Like tonight we'll start off in the same bed and then one of us will go to the other room for sleep. I mean, just as an idea. Because I do worry about that. I worry about the lack of intimacy and couple time that we would have.
Yeah, it makes sense. There are also health benefits of individual sleep environments. Tailoring the sleep environments for me, the way I want to sleep, when I do sleep in the other room, I do that because I know I've kept you up for a couple of nights. But when I get into that bed, I'm all by myself. I do what I want to do. I go to sleep. And I don't worry about... I go to bed not thinking or worrying about waking you up. And that really does help. But the other thing, if you've got a situation where one of you likes a hard mattress, one of you likes a soft
Right.
mattress, one of you likes the room cold, one of you likes the room warmer, one of you wants the window open like I do, you want them shut, that allows us to have our own individualized sleep sanctuary, so to speak.
Well, and, honestly, you love the super heavy, and people, I mean super heavy, weighted blanket. I feel like I'm being buried alive under this weighted blanket. So I end up most nights kind of rolling it up and kind of pushing it off of me because that's part of your sleep environment that makes you feel cozy, makes me feel like I'm being buried alive. So we've got issues.
This is feeling like a self...
A therapy session?
Yeah. We're doing live right now, talking through this problem
Right.
of sleeping together.
All right,
Okay.
let's go to the next
So
one.
what
are
about-
some good solutions?
All right, some solutions and tips. Establish communication about sleep needs.
Right.
I mean, I think you just have to talk about it. And I also think setting up comfortable and inviting separate bedrooms is important. If I'm going into the guest room, I feel like I'm intruding on the space that we give to company when they show up. I want to have my own comfortable room with my own chair, my own...
Wow.
I like quiet and the window open. You like the window shut and the sleep machine.
I love the sleep machine. Well,
Yeah.
because the sleep machine drowns out your snoring.
Well, that's true. But
But I see what you're saying. Establishing, kind of your own environment. I think what makes that difficult for us, especially in our homes, is we don't have a million bedrooms
Right.
to choose from.
Right.
So once you kind of mess up the guest bedroom, that means we have to flip the sheets and do all that before any visitors show
I have an
up.
idea.
Okay.
I'll sleep in the guest room for the next 5 nights.
Oh boy.
On night number 6,
Yeah.
we have a sleepover.
Oh.
I come in.
Scary,
I
but
bring
fun.
my jammies and my pillows,
You're
and we
funny.
have a sleepover. How about that?
That sounds good.
That's
that
a good
sounds
tip.
interesting. One of the things that is important is I don't know how to put this in a way that doesn't sound weird, but good sleep hygiene practices actually help your sleep quality. Consistent sleep schedules, which you got us both on. I was never on a consistent sleep schedule, but you helped us with that. And both of us reduce our screen time before bed. We limit our caffeine and heavy meals before sleeping. You actually stop drinking water now after 7:30 at night.
Right.
I can't seem to do that because I'm like perpetually thirsty.
Yeah, so I get ready for bed at
8:30?
8:30, and I'm in bed by 9, and I'm asleep by 9:05.
Right.
And that's been happening for years, but you still make noise about the fact that you'd rather go up later. I don't know what you would do. You would read downstairs,
I would
maybe.
probably read sitting up as opposed to read laying down in the bed.
Yeah.
But, I changed my sleep schedule so I could go up with you.
Right.
We get into bed at the same, we shower, get into bed at the same time. You fall asleep. I still read for an hour or so. So, I don't mind that. It's when I put my book away and now I'm really tired and I'm ready to go to sleep. It might be 10 or 10:30 and you're deep into your heavy snoring. That's what makes it difficult.
So this topic of enhancing overall sleep hygiene, we've worked really hard at this. So we've done all we can do to improve our sleeping as a couple, right?
Right.
And we're still struggling.
And we're still struggling.
Okay, all right. What about the long-term benefits for aging couples? We're an aging couple. Because, being able to have a good night's sleep, is that more important than sleeping together every night?
I mean, I'm getting there. Probably a year ago, I would say, no, I can kind of tough it out and go through it. But as I age, sustaining my energy levels all day for daily activities, for this business, for videoing, for playing golf, for walking the dog, for all the things we want to do, it makes it more difficult when you don't have that good night's sleep. So, I would like to see us better manage the chronic sleep apnea that you have through, I don't know what ways. I know you just got tested, but there are some ways to manage that chronic condition. We've tried a couple. You've tried tape. You've tried the nose patch.
I've tried everything.
You've tried Snora. I do hear that the sleep number beds sometimes work because you can sleep a little higher so you're not laying flat, struggling for air.
It's funny. I have a lot of friends that have that. Maybe that's our first next step is to try
They're
that.
just really expensive.
I know.
So I don't know if it's a first next step. It has to be the winner.
So these were the 6 teaching points, so to speak, about sleeping in different rooms. Why don't we talk about, because we spent some time putting this together, 5 tips to keep the romance alive when you're sleeping in separate rooms, okay?
Well, I would say the first thing that I worry about, but it's something I can control, would be to schedule regular date nights.
Yeah, baby.
Plan special evenings and activities together where it's going out and having a romantic dinner or make a romantic dinner at home. But make these dates a priority to ensure you have dedicated time for each other and you're not relying on that end of the day, jump into bed to kind of catch up.
Well, another tip to keep the romance alive is having morning and evening rituals, which we do actually have, but I think making it really clear, like, what are we going to do at night? Spend a little time together, and then perhaps I go to the other room.
Right.
Or you go to the other room. I
Right.
don't know why I have to be the one to leave.
Well, I'm going to leave you then with the dog and the crate and all those things that you don't
Yeah,
really
so
like.
I leave.
like to
I leave
handle.
and go to the other room.
Right.
But we always do really well starting our day together, and we have rituals in the morning.
Right.
So maybe tweaking our nighttime. Maybe we start together in bed.
Maybe.
And we chat a little bit, and then I scoot.
Okay. Well, we can try it.
All right.
The third thing I would say is think about surprise gestures. Learn to leave like little notes or gifts or cards in each other's rooms, maybe a sweet text message or a voice message once you leave the room, just to show that you're still thinking of each other and you're still connected.
So I'm in the guest room and I'm there and I text you and say, come on over?
Maybe.
Come on in? That kind of stuff?
Maybe.
Wow.
Okay.
To keep your relationship alive is physical intimacy and touch. Your love language, one of them is physical touch, but it's just like you just need something like this. So I think hugging, kissing,
right?
Cuddling. What?
Cuddling. I'm like a good cuddler.
Spooning.
Yeah,
I think
spooning before you leave. I guess I can't spoon when you're gone.
No, but I think that's important. Make sure you still stay physically in touch and plan sleepovers.
Right, which is a great idea.
Yeah.
The fifth one is, share your activities and hobbies during the day. Engage in activities that you'll both enjoy, like cooking together, walks, watching movies. Create new traditions and hobbies that strengthen your bond all day long. Again, so you're not like just leaning on that nighttime.
Right. So what do we do now? Here's some steps to help you with this process. Number one, discuss your sleep challenges openly and honestly with all the kindness and love that you can.
And I think I would add one more word to that: openly, honestly, and deservingly. I guess that's the part that I'm always like, I can still tough it out. I can still get through. But you deserve a good night's sleep. And I have to remind myself of that. Set up separate and inviting living spaces like we talked about. We probably need to move your weighted blanket into the guest room.
Right. Make sure you're really clear on some good morning and evening rituals to keep the love alive, to keep the relationship alive. Because if you're sleeping in separate rooms, you don't want to grow apart. And that's a risk that you take.
And alongside of that, share, and schedule regular date nights, and intimate moments during the day so that, again, you have those kind of building your relationship.
It's kind of like when we first met and we were dating, we weren't together. We didn't sleep together at all, but we felt really close to each other because we had date nights and we sent nice texts and all of that.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same thing.
Right. It's really keeping your regular communication and being honest about what's working and what's not working, and, keeping your love alive for sure.
Right.
Good sleep is crucial for health and happiness, and separate sleeping arrangements can enhance, I can't believe I'm saying this, can enhance both without compromising your relationship.
Right. So try these tips to improve your sleep. Have open communication, and it will strengthen your relationship because your health and happiness is worth it. Now, if you enjoyed this video, this next one, unlock the secrets of a great relationship. And it's really we talk about the difference between listening and hearing, right? I'm a good listener. Am I a good hearer?
Hearer,
not
always.
Sure. We talk about nonverbal cues, responding effectively, and developing empathy. So watch this one next.